back, folks. Thanks for joining us and thanks for staying with us. We've got plenty more to go, Timmy, but it's been great so far, mate. Been good.
That's your opinion?
Been happy. It is only my opinion. Yeah, it is only my opinion for sure. But it's time to talk rowing, mate. We do a lot with rowing SA on the program. We do a lot with a lot of SA sport on the program, but in particular rowing, they've been very good to us, and we like to think we've been pretty good to them as well. But joining us now, fresh from the Nationals, that's what I like, the Nationals in Perth, Jed Altschwager and Ella Bramwell. Hi guys.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Thanks for joining us. Been a busy period, I would think. We've just back from the Nationals in Perth. But before I start on that, I only had a brief glimpse, but the weather wasn't all that flash from what I gather. And I picked that up late, that it was a bit choppy out there, they tell me.
It was.
Yeah, definitely. There was a very gnarly crosswind that came across the course, which made it tough racing out there. And they were saying about a 20 to 30 second difference across the lanes from lane one to...
So do you practice it? I mean, you obviously do, but you know, if you go down to West Lakes tomorrow and it's really blowy and choppy, they'll send you out there to practice in that, so because you're going to run up against that in the Nationals.
Yeah,
although you wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, so we do practice in the windy weather, but obviously like safety is very important, and the boats cost a lot of money, so that's sort of the first thing. If it's too bad that, you know, it's going to do damage to us or the boats, then we don't go out. But we do tend to head out in the rough conditions, and even though we hate it at the moment in the time, it comes back and pays dividends.
Yeah.
So how'd you go in those conditions, Ella?
Not great. I actually ended up crossing over into another lane and then had to steer back because we got a bit blown. But it was a good experience. And
I was going to say, did you get breathalyzed? You can't be flying off the...
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, for sure. Now, the Nationals were... I had a quick read because I do a lot of preparation, as you know, Jimmy.
Incredible.
Thank you. We did pretty well, didn't we, in the Nationals over there, in WA?
Yep.
And there were a lot of really good performances, which Rowing SA would be really happy with.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well as that, like, South Australia itself isn't a massive, as in populace of rowing compared to the eastern states. So whenever we can go over there and get some performances, it's a real big pat on the back to everyone. We did really good. We had a couple of guys from the sort of South Australian Institute of Sport program, Nick Blackman, under 23, second in the single and did quite well on the double, won the double, I think. And Jeremy Beale, another sassy guy, under 21, won the single there, and Adam Holland did all right as well. Some really good performances there. We had some school crews as well.
Yeah, the schools went over and did a very good job. We had Victoria Binns from Seymour. She came third in the schoolgirl single, which was an amazing effort. St Peter's boys, they came third, or in the schoolboy 8, so that's always a very competitive field. And then Wilderness School came second in the schoolgirl 4, and then there were quite a few 8s in the under 19 or schoolgirl 8 final, which was a really solid effort.
Probably a special mention too is at the end of the national regatta, if you look at it, say sort of club championships and national event, is they have the state team stuff. So we had, and that's, I don't know, there's 5 or 6 different races, but there's a lightweight men's 4, and we got a bronze medal this year for the first time, I think, for a long time, medaling that crew. So that was a really good performance from our lightweight boys. And in that crew in particular was Oscar McGuinness, who has had a really good season as well, been selected in the senior team, as well as winning his single and double, doing quite well this year as well. So
excellent.
Wow.
I was going to ask you two guys, with rowing, it seems like you have the school programs and a lot of people compete there. That period of ending school into the 20s, sometimes you lose rowers, don't you, in that period? Is there any work being done to try and keep those sort of kids that sort of fall away from the sport? Because sometimes they come back to it as veterans. But it's like, we don't want them to come back, we want them to stay.
Yeah,
is there any work being done there?
Yeah. So the clubs in South Australia sort of run winter programs, so try and get them affiliated with a club and used to the club training throughout their schooling, and then when they so that they have a taste of what it's like and can see if it's something that which club, suits them, because everyone's a little bit different. And then when they come out, there's the clubs run sort of school leaver programs, so they're focused about having fun and just keeping your foot in the door with rowing, while also managing schoolies and starting at uni and all those things that are important.
Distracting.
Yeah.
From rowing.
Yeah.
Jed.
Yep.
Now, I had a little look at your race.
Yep.
Where you led, and I just went and got a cup of coffee. Once Jed gets in front, that's it, mate.
Yeah.
That's it. But you were overtaken. You got hammered by a younger rower.
Harrison.
That's what they said. A younger rower. Is that having a go at you?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, everyone's pretty much younger than me, so I came out of the blocks quite well, and then Harry's had a pretty good season. He's just made his first national team in the para squad, so he kind of got in front just before the 500 and held that. So that's kind of how that went down, unfortunately. But yeah, it happens.
When we last spoke, now correct me if I'm wrong here, which I'm sure you will, you were a reserve in Australian side, but you've now been selected.
Yeah.
You're back.
So
you were disappointed, but whatever, but I think that was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that was reserved for basically the Tokyo boat that went over. That was the mixed four. Since then, I took a year off and I'd basically sort of given up or retired, if you will, with it and coached for a bit. And since then, there's been another mixed double or another Paralympic class boat named for this cycle. That's the PR3 mixed double, which basically suits my impairment better without getting into too many details. So I'm quite competitive in that boat class, so put the hand up again, threw the hat back in the ring, and started training full time about a year ago. And then we've just been through selection and been selected in that boat with Nikki Ayres, which is a girl from Canberra who's moving to Adelaide in about a month.
And you'd be really happy with that, mate, I would think, because you were a bit disappointed with that reserve bit. That
Competitor.
Well, that's right, mate. But to come
win.
back a couple of years, and bang, in the side.
Correct.
Now, this is the interesting one, because I want to find out a little bit about this, Ella. You've got to tell me, what is the Windermere Cup all about? Because you've just been selected in the Australian team. You go to Washington for the Windermere Cup. Now, what is the Windermere Cup all about?
So the Windermere Cup is sort of the opening season event in Seattle for the sailing and rowing team, I think. And every year they challenge a country to race the University of Washington's top boats.
Okay.
So it's sort of, they challenged Australia this year, and so they send their 8 of people, and we go over and we race them.
Wow.
Fantastic.
So they get to choose. They say, oh no, this year we feel like an easy one, we want Bolivia. Because I would think Australia would be a tough one.
Yeah, I think we hope to go over there and be pretty competitive. The rowing in the States, it's a big thing over there, especially college rowing. So they're not a shabby crew, but hopefully we can.
We'll say goodbye to Joe Biden for us. While you're there.
And I must apologise to all the Bolivian rowers out there too.
You're going to get trolled.
We get trolled by the Bolivian rowing team, for sure. That's a terrific performance. So we must be looking forward now with SA rowing. We've spoken about this for a couple of years. How we've got a lot of really, really classy up and coming rowers. And as you said, we're not the biggest population going around compared to the other states and whatever, but we do punch above our weight. And from what I read from the nationals, things are going up. Yeah,
they really are. We've got a really good depth there in our sort of underage, and then our senior team is thick as well. So we've got a lot of people named this year in the senior team, men, women and para. So it's good. It's in a good place to be, and it's pretty healthy. Obviously, we want to keep trying to build the sport and retain athletes and retain people at a fun level, club level, all the way up. But it's in a good spot.
One more. I've got one more for Ella. Well, I think when we last had a bit of a chat here, your team had won something like 7 in a row, maybe 6 in a row.
Oh no, don't ask
about to go. I think you were about to challenge for that 8th in a row.
Are you trying to jinx?
I'm not trying to jinx anything. If it
Yeah,
happens,
you must have jinxed it. We lost the streak.
I knew it.
did you?
Yeah, so,
Get close to him, Ella.
Oh, wow. What happened there?
so we had a large amount of our girls were getting older. They moved on into their full-time work, and then I was in Sydney training at the National Training Centre. So there were a couple of us away, and the University of Adelaide Boat Club, they did a really good job and have been developing well, and they took it from us. I think we got to 7, and but we're hoping to get it back this year or next year. But
Well, congratulations to both of you, really, on a terrific performance in the Nationals and to Rowing SA. Because that was a terrific performance, and it was a fair bit of reading. But when I was reading, I go, whoa, hang on a minute here, we're a bit of a chance here. So it's great that it's all happening for you, and we really appreciate you coming in. We're having a bit of a lull now, aren't we, on the in the rowing side? Yeah.
Domestically, yes, but internationally, it's kicking on. We've got World Cup starting in June and over in Italy and that, and then Ella's in a month over in the US. So,
We'll keep in touch, and hopefully we have more success. Thanks very much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more in just a moment.